Gentlemen, please. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event of the evening. Frank Warren proudly presents an international heavyweight contest of 10 3-minute rounds. Introducing in this corner, ladies and gentlemen, from London, Joe Bugner.
Mixed reception as always.
From South Carolina, USA, Sutton.
Well, he didn't get much better either.
At the weigh-in at 1 o'clock today, Bugner scaled 16 stones, 7.5 pounds. Sutton, 14 stones, 11 pounds. Your officials for this contest, referee Mr. Mike Jacobs, timekeeper Mr. Ray Rice.
Well, there was a slight alteration in the weights there to what I was given. He's actually 16.7.5. So that's what he weighed last time out, really, for Dino Dennis. I thought he'd come in at 16.5. I was misled there. But I'm sure that Sutton will know the difference. Well, I hope that he can fight a little bit more than he's able to speak for, Danny Sutton. He's really hardly said anything here, to the frustration of most of the newspaper men looking for the hot quotes. So the referee from London is Mike Jacobs, who's done 6 World Championships. And Joe is unloaded with the right hand immediately, the accepted way, the corrective punch for to be the southpaw. He's certainly using height and size right away, Bugner, isn't he? A little bit of snarl there too. Go in and, as they say in this business, show that you're the governor right from the off, and you've got a bit of a chance. Well, if Mr. Sutton's not the best fighter in the world, he's going to try and make it awkward for those who think they are. Well, he fancies his chance, doesn't he, Bugner? He's tapped in a few right hands. This fella's not exactly difficult to hit. But if he's taking Shaver's best shots, I'm wondering whether he can take Bugner's. And then what will happen? Maybe he was having a little sleep in the dressing room, which was why he didn't want to let anybody in there, Sutton, because he's certainly looking a bit lazy at the start. Well, even the people in the back of the hall could see that punch coming from Sutton. Maybe the referee Jacobs is going to have a hard job here of parting these two. So there's a minute to go then in the opening round. Bit surprised really Joe doesn't start banging in with that left-hand jab, keep this fellow at bay a bit, because he really is untidy, to say the least, when he lays on like that, Sutton. Well, that's really the crudest left-hand southpaw swing you can see. That was the left-hand scoring punches. That counts and stings and could keep Sutton at bay. That's a bit more like the old boxing Joe from his youthful days. Well, a long walk back indeed, isn't it, for Mr. Sutton? He really is the laziest fellow you could ever set eyes on. Yes, well, a little bit of distraction there as we go over and have a look. That's the character I was telling you about, Don White. He brought over Robert Mullins to fight Pat Caldell, and that was a good fight, but I don't think the heavyweight quite lives up to that anyway. We'll find out. He knew all about Bugner, so maybe he thinks he has got a chance. And a call over there in Bugner's corner, with trainer Fossey and Robert Warren on the outside of the ropes there, the brother of the promoter. And there he is holding Bugner's gum shield ready, which in fact is the only protection the boxer's allowed above the waist. He's a big boy, is our Joe, isn't he? So round two then, and that was a bit more like it. It looks as though the seconds are saying, come on, let's go out and take care of this fellow, because he's a real messer and he's not going to make it look too good. Joe's been saying quite a bit that he's not going to bide his time too much. He can't afford to at his age, but he's a little bit slow getting off here when he's got it all under control, really, once he sorts this fellow's awkward style out. The most damage that's been inflicted so far is just Sutton leaning on. Really, Bugner relying on the big right hand, because he knocked Dino Dennis over. Each fight is going to be treated a bit differently, and he could set this fellow up, I would have thought, with the left hand jabs first and lure him on to the punch. And it's always risky to say it in heavyweights, because there's no sign at all that Sutton is any kind of puncher. You can see how he's in incident fights. He's the most awkward character they could have sorted out for Bugner. He fell on his knees and was throwing punches at the same time. So we're 4 minutes into the fight then. He jabbed his way in a bit better there, Bugner. That was more encouraging, but this fellow seems to ignore them. Amazing the way he throws that swiping left hand of his, Sutton. I said referee Jacobs would probably have to work as hard as the heavyweights, and he is in the second round. Well, I wonder what's going on now in that corner, where Bugner saying, where do we sort this fellow out from? Remember, he was supposed to fight an Italian, Adonolfi, and he dropped out because Bugner said